Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Metagame Minute, your once weekly Chaotic Amateurs follow-up podcast. Let's do reverse horn order again because Mr. Dashel got blocked by the train like one does when trying to drive to work 5 minutes late.
Yeah, that was really annoying. Well, I live right next to train tracks, and usually the train doesn't last that long, but apparently this was the longest fucking train in the history of trains because it would not end. It just kept going. And I had to sit there and just let Rhett's character talk for my character, essentially, which is really frustrating. But then it was fun to kind of role play why all of a sudden my character went silent, and it's because he's, has PTSD. His war fog.
Yeah, that was funny. I like the war fog.
So I like that.
No, you handled it pretty well. I considered just letting it go to be like edited out later.
Yeah, no, I know, and I know it can always be edited, but then, I thought it was funny the way you just kind of like stepped in and started speaking.
Plus, I did have to keep going after I nailed that awesome trained pun. Oh, God.
Well, awesome is a strong word for that.
I don't know. Right off the cuff, baby. Thought it was pretty good. But no, I thought the negotiations went pretty well. Was there anything else that stood out to you this episode with Wolf?
Nothing in particular. Just that negotiating with those guys, but it didn't really end up being a negotiation. We were just like 200 for this, and they're like, okay.
That's true. I did try to go for a little bit more, but didn't stick.
Yeah.
So,
but I do need to take off.
Perfect,
because I got to get ready for work tomorrow. So I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, Dash.
Go first.
Bye.
All right, that brings us to Mr. Bentley, Rafurian Night Meadow. Dude, you just unlocked a bunch of cool shit there at the end. That's really kind of what stood out to me. Was there anything else this episode that kind of stood out to you that you want to talk about, or do you just want to talk about some of the stuff that, because like the connection between like the silver liquid and your family's treasure thing, like that blew my mind just a little bit. I thought that was, we're like, you're out here looking for the treasure of ether, but like here is an ether and we've got a lot of it. So what is the treasure of ether? What is the treasure of ether?
Well, it's aether, but
did your uncle ever tell you?
No. It's been like a family I don't think they technically even knew. It was just sort of like a thing that's like, this is the thing that we're hunting for specifically, and because I didn't really know, I think that's probably where the inability to find it because they weren't defining it correctly, probably, based off of what it's also, of how Alex just put it out, is that no one's technically keeping track of these notes other than like that one little complaint. So like that's the kind of like the thread that we end up pulling.
Which felt really realistic to me because like most of what we learned that's useful about history is found from like, the garbage pails of history. It's like,
yeah. And, Riff didn't really know. So, what it was and so now she's like, I have some of it. We all collected a whole bunch of it, but now also, the treasure of Aether, is it like, going up north, super north, past like all of those other mountains and stuff? Like, is it more of like a metaphor for something? Like, is it, it's like, oh, it's this treasure, but like, is the word treasure meaning like it will bring life to other stuff? Because how it interacts, like it just like, rather than it being just like a room full of fucking jewels and gold or whatever, rather than it being that type of treasure, is it a treasure in a different sense of the word? And also I just think it's really cool that like I'm learning this language. I'm learning this, this sort of not Warforged. Is it Warforged language, or is it, what is it exactly, Ali? Or is it's the mages language, right?
It's something that's unique to the wastes.
Okay.
Is what it is.
Okay.
So I would say you haven't discovered its origin. So
right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I love. Also, there's on my character sheet, the personality traits. Like I said last time, was my favor. Once lost is lost forever, and then it goes ... That being said, I love a good mystery. So and it was cool. Like I got communique from like one of my old masters back at the monastery.
What did that say?
Song. Oh, secrets.
But it's Metagame Minute. There's no real secrets here.
Sure there is.
Oh, come on.
Sure there is. There's always secrets. It's just a communication I'm keeping. It's kind of almost like a report card. Like I check in and I go, here's everything that I've learned. Here's everything I'm out doing. This is kind of where I'm at. And then the master comes back and says, this is good. Think on this. Keep your keep your nose to the grindstone. And basically it's kind of like because I'm basically doing study abroad essentially to get my mastery, and so like I'm kind of checking in with him and he's giving me advice. But
that's really cool.
Yeah, he's giving me advice on what to do, and I'm definitely very excited once we get back to Chateau area and that sort of stuff. I'm definitely gonna work on like crafting another letter to him, as we kind of like go back on the cart and stuff. So like once we get back into town, I'll send him off another thing and tell him about the Aether and that sort of stuff. Also, what's fun for me, just here's some metagame minute for you, Rhett, is that, and I don't think Alex did this, but I sent him 2 different Word docs. One of them he could just open, it was my letter. 2 of them was I gave him a clue and it was password protected, so he had to figure out the clue in order to open the letter or whatever, which would have been like how Riff technically would have sent the letter to the master. So it was like, it looks like one way, but really then it's like, it's secrets.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is ultra meta.
Yep. I figured it was something Alex would like. I was like, whether you do it or not, I figured this is the type of silliness outside of the podcast that you would enjoy.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that, and yeah, I liked giving it to Caleb when he went to the courier. Like I liked having that kind of interaction.
Yeah.
And yeah, if Caleb if Scory had tried to read it, it was just going to be, there was nothing going to be there.
I just wrote that down as a question I was going to ask you when it was my turn.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. The School of Shadows is able to send messages very easily and make sure only their recipients are the ones that read it.
And I thought it was cool too how you did that with the letter, and how it basically was like how the school itself is when it interacts with sunlight, which is, it doesn't really, and then it's like you have to catch it at the right angle to see it.
Oh yeah,
that was great
for sure.
Yeah, like the Mines of Moria.
Nope.
Speak friend and enter. Yeah,
I think it's more like Hymenoptera in The Mummy, the City of the Dead.
It's exactly like when the full moon shines on the Mines of Moria and lets them in.
No.
I'm getting
sunlight.
Mad.
Yeah.
No, let us tell you how it is for your character, Ben.
Yeah,
we know.
I'll keep going. You're halfway there.
But I guess, for my turn, it was kind of funny because I was really hoping to do the negotiation for the contracts, and then I was like, no, well, I'll give this to Wolf because that's kind of fun. And then the train happened, and I was like, well, I gotta do it anyway. So that was kind of fun for me. Really fun for me to hear how much freaking gold we're gonna get for the tower, completing the tower. That just really excited me. Learning about that dagger was kind of neat, and I'm not too sure I'm all that interested in it because it's interesting because I've been thinking Zephyrus probably needs to carry around a weapon just in case, that he can't just shoot off Eldritch Blast every time.
That's a pretty cool one too, but you got to be close to use it.
Yeah, and that's last time I was close
unnecessarily.
To well, that's true. Entangle, I could cast. Entangle with it.
Well, you have to strike with it in order to cast it.
But a dagger can be a thrown weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true. So
better work on that dex.
There's some things there, and plus, like every adventurer needs a dagger, and Zephyrus has had just like a basic dagger, but he's literally never touched it. I think like I mentioned it like when I was doing the solo episode in like that other plane, but I've never touched them or used them or anything like that. So yeah, who knows? We might keep this one around and see what happens with it. If Zephyrus, has to fight tooth and claw to survive, like he's gonna get some blood on his hands if he has to. So why not with a pretty dagger? God, that is totally Zephyrus, right? Like a pretty dagger? Yeah, I dig that. And then just kind of excited maybe to go back to Tyrlin. Tyrlin.
Yeah.
Maybe get back to the chateau or something for a brief bit before going back out or doing something. The wastes have been really cool, and like rolling on this chart is like super awesome. And part of me doesn't want to give that up, but like just like when you're playing like Neverwinter Nights or whatever Baldur's Gate, like you go and rest up between runs. Like I kind of feel like I want to go back and like check on things, replenish, restock, resupply. That sort of thing. So, who knows? Excited to see what the group decides to do overall. But
I definitely want to find an enchanter there. I figure I'd probably have a better chance at finding one there.
Yeah, that's true. And we'll have some money in our pocket too. So
Riff has already got so much money. She definitely could have paid what's his name, but I didn't want to wait, and I didn't want that to be like an impetus for us staying here. So I was like, I'll just wait till we get to a different town.
That's so Riff. Cool. Well, Caleb,
let me guess. You don't remember anything?
No. You had a crow land on your shoulder.
Scroll with a note for someone else. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that's how you serve this story the best. Is just like
a vehicle for other stuff. Yeah.
No.
Which is true because he sat down next to me and was probably going to be like, "So, what's going on with the letter?" I just immediately got up and walked away.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I have a couple questions for the DM. One, how long have we actually been away? Is it Tyrlin or Tyrlin?
Tyrlin.
How long have we been away?
You've been away at least a week. Well, no, probably it was a week to get down here, a week plus out in the wastes. So at least 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
okay.
I have notes like from the beginning because I was tracking time, and it's like week 1, and then like this happens on day 2 of week. This happens on day 3 of week, and then it's like week 2. And like at one point we get to day 5 of week 2, and then we get to the 8 tower base, and then we go to the Chaos Tower.
Yeah, I thought it'd been at least a month.
And we spent a few nights out and about.
Yeah, so. How long were we at the Chaos Tower? Like
that was all of I think that was just like the day you got there, and then the next day.
Yeah, because that night is when things popped off outside, right?
And then I must have. I think I lost my notebook because I was taking notes on another pad, but then it's like I have like day 1 from Outpost, day 3 from Outpost. So I kind of started. So, definitely 3 weeks at least.
Okay.
And probably even a little bit more because, Chaos Tower, because that was day.
Well,
so that would have been.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I like breaking that stuff down. It's fine.
The crafters that you mentioned in Rift's little info dump there, are they the same ones that are you had mentioned in which, by the way, I need you to send me again if you still have it. There was
yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, because I don't have access to that email account anymore. Is that the same Crafters clan or whatever that?
Yeah, that's going to be the same group that referred to as the Crafters.
Okay.
Vasair has a relationship with them, and Riff is now finding out that the mages have a relationship with them.
Very cool. Okay, I'll be excited to kind of dive deeper into that. And so I have this theory about the Aether and the wastes. Is this just a big oil field, like Iraq situation, and people are fighting over the oil field of Aether?
I mean,
I feel like I'm onto something.
That's a
I've
cool
got
idea.
notes here about what it is.
Because that's where we found
notes.
it. That's
Read
where we
those
found
notes.
it.
Now that'd be neat if I just read all these notes here.
Metagame minute, baby.
God, it's weird how I have those, but you guys don't.
So I guess I'm putting it out there as my theory.
No, I like it. It's a good theory. I like it.
There seems to be. I mean, the waste is where people are getting the Aether, and it's very oil field like in its ecosystem. So I'm just wondering if maybe there's something to that. Like that's where we go to mine it, and that's why the mages went there, because they know how powerful it is, and so they wanted to mine it for all they could and killed everything in the process. And
they wanted it to be mine.
Yeah. Well, okay.
But like if they said that and from the first person perspective.
Yeah. Okay.
Milo.
Oh, and I'm excited for my new machete.
Oh yeah. How did you like? She had a name. Gandor.
Ooh,
Gandor, the half-orc blacksmith.
I wish I would have approached her speaking orc.
Yeah, did you get a gander?
That's all the time we have this week, folks.
Yeah, we need some sort of soundboard for when he makes stupid puns.
Yeah,
to have a.
That was a really good one, though.
What happened to a slide
you changed
whistle?
a vowel. So anyway, I wish I would have approached her talking in orc, just for the camaraderie, because I haven't seen too many. I don't feel like.
No, I think the gal you got the glass from it was the only other half orc we've really seen.
And did I send 400 gold? That's what
you said. Yeah,
that's what I owed. Do you remember what I owed?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, I may have overpaid, but oh well, it's taken care of.
Yeah,
just consider it seed money for your next venture.
Yeah,
that's right. It's in notes somewhere in one of these books.
I'm pretty sure it was 400, but
yeah.
Okay, well, last but not least, we always save the best for last. In this case, it's Milo. Mr. Ball. I know that you weren't really privy to the discovery as Ball, but like the connection, this idea of ether, some of the things we've talked about feels like it's of great interest to Ball. So I'm curious what Milo thinks Ball's reaction might be to this. If it pieces together anything in your mind that it's, called Aether. I keep saying ether, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. Not really thinking about it all that much. Ball doesn't really know about it, so.
Well, what is Ball thinking about this episode?
I would try to find something out about, do like a history check or something for it, but I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell to me as a player.
You had a great idea to go to the bar, and then we kind of hijacked it to figure out the stuff about the contracts and things like that. How do you feel about the way that we kind of handle the contracts, and what do you think the next step should be?
Yeah, we agreed totally. Going back, we got the portal back to the manor, and we'll use that, I assume.
Excellent. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to give it to Alex before we start?
Making a secret compartment. That should be good.
Yeah, that's got me worried.
The dwarves are really excited about that.
Oh, yeah. That'll be really cool to see what you do with that. Is that part of your war against Riff?
It's just good to have a hiding spot.
Yeah, he doesn't have the normal orifices that we all have, so he's got to keister it some other way.
Jesus.
A prison purse.
Is it weird that the word keister sounds like key store? Because you can store a key in there?
It's probably where it came from.
Here's where that sound would come in handy again.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. Alex, is it an ether oil field? No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Are you excited? Is there anything in the wastes that you feel like you were kind of excited for us to get to, or maybe we missed, or like, you don't even have to be specific, but like, or are you excited to get back to like the comfort of Tyrillin?
I'm excited to see what that's going to kind of unveil for us. with kind of some secrets that you're learning down here, with things being set in motion for Uzuma down here already. It'll be interesting to see, what that does for us up, back up in the kingdom proper. As far as stuff out there, I mean, there's all kinds of stories out there in the wastes. The ones that we found, rolling on that table, I think were really interesting. I really like how that turned out. So no, I've been very happy with it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by this like repository of just like books. Like that blows my mind a little bit, and is
that's a neat one. Like I was saying, that was a little dungeon I had from the very beginning of starting this campaign, and so it was very, very neat to pull that out. It looks, metagame in it looks like that's where books that get lost go.
God, like the extra sock in the dryer kind of.
Exactly. Yeah,
I love that idea.
It's all these things that were wanting to be lost.
Interesting.
Oh wow. Well, we're definitely gonna have to go back there at some point.
Yeah.
As well as lots of places in the waste. That's what was so fun about it all.
I'm kind of I'm a large part of me is bummed that we got rid of the other tower contracts, because I feel like there's going to be unique, cool loot in each location, or knowledge or something that we won't get otherwise. And so I feel like we're missing out on that. But at the same time, what we did makes sense as a group.
Yeah, doesn't mean that we can't get more contracts when we go back. They'll see what a good job we did, and that's, we want more contracts, we ask for them.
We're efficient.
I think that kind of came into the conversation, and not only that, like we got to tell somebody that there's a giant robot on the loose. I think maybe that's a face-to-face conversation type thing, and not just send a carrier pigeon and be like, oh, and by the way, we lost your giant robot. But yeah, so no, lots of cool adventures. I'm excited to have kind of a change of pace from the wastes, and then know that we can go back out there eventually too. So
I'm glad my dispel magic didn't ruin the contracts.
Yeah, that irritated me.
You guys made me nervous about that.
I forgot that you had access to that.
Yeah. I'm excited to basically Sanj, because his parents, they're the people in charge, so to go there and talk to him and tell him about the robot and stuff, and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, parents, there's a big robot out on the loose. Anyway.
Oh, by the way.
I'm excited to touch base with Adrian.
No biggie.
Yeah. Adrian's waiting there.
Alrighty, guys. Well, hey, this has been a great Metagame Minute. Thanks for sticking with us. We're here every Thursday. We'll be back on Monday with your standard episode of Chaotic Amateurs. Until then, hey, grab your sword and keep on adventuring.